Hello, welcome along to our preview of the Queen Anne Stakes, the first race of the meeting. It promises to be an absolute crackerjack as well, and in the studio to discuss it is Gary Nutting. Let's remind ourselves how Goldikova beat Paco Boy in a vintage renewal 12 months ago.
Dalgar, Paco Boy with still a lot of cover and no way through. Now he says go on Goldikova. Goldikova committed quite early by Pellier. Kicks 2 lengths clear of Rip Van Winkle. Zakinto, Paco Boy is coming through from the back from Dalgar and Dream Eater. Less than a furlong to go. Goldikova by 2 lengths. Paco Boy is charging at the French mare. Goldikova all out. Paco Boy is flying home. They're going to hit the line. Goldikova won the Queen Anne from Paco Boy, but there wasn't very much.
She certainly did, Gary, and it was a wonderful, wonderful race. Paco Boy, of course, coming up short every time he ran into the amazing French mare, who looked as good as ever when she won the Dispahan on her reappearance. Yeah,
I mean, she is amazing, isn't she? And now 6 years old, but still going strong. And, you know, she sets the benchmark for this race.
Now, the Haddon camp have made no secret of the fact that they regard Canford Cliffs as superior to Paco Boys. So, therefore, is it straightforward enough to suggest then that she may meet her nemesis here?
Well, racing's never that straightforward, but yes, I think Canford Cliffs has got a terrific chance. I mean, as we saw from there, you could easily make a case out for the fact that Paco Boy may have been slightly unlucky there if he'd got out earlier. You know, a stride past the line, I think he was in front. You know, knocking Goldikova, and I'm not knocking her, but knocking Goldikova is akin to shooting Bambi these days, isn't it? And but you know, I would say, trying to look at that dispassionately, that Paco Boy was possibly slightly unlucky, and as you said, you know, Canford Cliffs has always been rated the best horse they've had at Hannon's, and looked. I thought it was a tremendously impressive performance in the Lockinge.
Well, funny enough, of course, he was in action on the same day last year that Goldikova was wowing us when beating Paco Boy, because he also was mightily impressive in the St James's Palace Stakes there in the orange jacket, demonstrating that fantastic turn of foot that he's got. What did you make of this 12 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, the performance spoke for itself. Travelled supremely well. Comes off the bridle there, but certainly finds plenty and shows great acceleration and you know, a good attitude as well, which we know he's got. I think he's probably unbeaten at Ascot, isn't he? Because he won the Coventry.
Yeah, good point. And for his third consecutive Royal win.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought in the circumstances the Lockinge performance was very good. I mean, Richard Hughes was interviewed shortly before that race and said that there was a headwind that day and it would make it tougher for the horses that hadn't had a run, which obviously applied to Canford Cliffs. And although some people weren't completely taken with the performance, I thought in the circumstances it was a terrific effort. Yeah,
of course, the horse that chased him home that day has gone and won again in Italy since then, hasn't it? Worthad.
Yeah.
So, and you just got the impression there was a lot more to come from him physically that day as well.
Yeah, and we've read in the last 24 hours that he's going to have a racecourse gallop somewhere, either at Newbury or Kempton, which will sharpen him up. That, you know, should put him absolutely spot on. And I think the other point to make is, you know, Goldikova is now 6. It's another year behind her, whereas Canford Cliffs now 4, probably at his peak, you would think.
Yeah.
So if ever the mare's, you know, run is going to end here, then it could be on Tuesday, I think.
Is it a 2-horse race? I mean, the likes of Cape Blanco, who's a very high-class horse, in some respects an interesting runner here, because I would tend to think about him as being more of a middle-distance type. This is his run in the Dubai World Cup when he was 4th to Victoire Pisa. What did you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, everything about him suggests he's not going to have quite the speed to match an on-song Canford Cliffs or Goldikova. I wonder how much their running plans has been dictated by So You Think, because of course there's not a Group 1 1.5 race at the Royal Meeting, so you know they're going and sticking to a 1.25 miles with So You Think. Maybe as they didn't have an obvious contender for this, they've decided to give Cape Blanco a go.
All things considered then, for this fantastic start to the meeting, which it will be, it'll almost be an anti-climax for the rest of the whole week, what's your selection?
Canford Cliffs, for the reasons outlined. Just think that, you know, he's now at his peak at the age of 4. Goldikova, wonderful mare, but maybe she just might meet her match here.